everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Just Save January, where we're trying to save as much money as we can and have a very old-fashioned frugal year. Well, today I'm making do with, I'm reusing things. I'm taking my Christmas decorations down and I'm having a look and seeing what I can repurpose and what I can save for next year to save me a few pennies. So I just thought I'd share some ideas with you of what I'm doing, and hopefully it might give you some inspiration. A lot of them I've shared before, some are new, you probably know some of them, but I'm just going to go through them. So the first thing is that I buy advent calendars with pictures in. If anyone watched my Vlogmas, I was sharing the pictures every day, and some of my children still really like to have an advent calendar with a picture in and count down the days to Christmas. Even though they're sort of adults, it's like a mum thing I do, is give them an advent calendar. And what we do, because these have gone quite expensive now, so what happens is we reuse them. When I was a little girl, I had the same advent calendar for the whole of my childhood. We would just close the doors and put it away with our Christmas decorations and bring it out again the following year. And so I'm going to close these doors and I'm going to put it under some heavy books, and so that the doors will be almost closed. And then this was my advent calendar this year, and what I'm going to do is give it to one of my children. She has given me back her advent calendar, and I'm going to put that under books, and I will pass this on to one of her siblings, who in turn will probably be giving me their advent calendar. So we swap them round in the family. So one advent calendar will do about 4 people, 4 years, you know, we swap them round, because then it's a surprise, you know, it's something different. One of my daughters has actually had hers for a few years because she absolutely loves it. She just loves the set out, she loves the picture on it, she loves the pictures inside. So I've had this one for 2 years because I really like the pictures, but my daughter wanted it for this year. So shut the doors, put heavy books on it, and one calendar can last an awful long time. So that's what we're doing. We're swapping about and reusing, and these are so pricey. You're talking, some of them I've seen for like nearly £5 each, so that is a really good saving. I have got enough calendars floating around for a good few years now, so I won't need to buy any advent calendars this year. So that is good. If I ever see the odd one in a sale, I pick it up, so I've got a new one to throw in the mix every so often. And I have got a new one, which I did that a couple of years ago for myself, so that everything can rotate round. So advent calendars, I'm reusing those. If you saw one of my Christmas videos, I was making gift boxes, my own gift boxes. These are just shoe boxes that people were getting rid of, which I collected throughout the year, and then I put some Christmas paper around them. Christmas paper I got in the sale, so literally a really nice Christmassy gift box cost me pence. So what I did is I have a few of these. I obviously put gifts in them for my family members, and what they've done, like my son for instance, he put his gifts into his suitcase to take with him, and he's given me his box back, and I'd put a gift tag on it with his name on it, and he said, look Mum, you can even reuse the gift tag for next Christmas as well. So he's given me back his gift box, and my daughters has given me back her gift box, and it's already still wrapped and everything. So I've got gift boxes ready for next year that I don't have to even buy the wrapping paper for or the labels. So I'm going to be repurposing them next year. This is a gift box that was bought, that I got given with gifts in a good few years ago now, and what happens in the family is then I will put gifts and use it for somebody else, usually one of my children. They then will put gifts in for, say, Mother's Day or my birthday, and give it back to me. I then put gifts in for somebody else, give it to them, then they'll give it back to me. So these things are really good. They are quite strong and sturdy and good size, and as I say, this one has been doing the rounds for a few years as well, and it'll certainly do another few years to come. Look, that's really good. So I'm saving that gift box as well, ready for I keep saying next year, it's actually this year, for next Christmas, or this Christmas. Don't know how many days there is to go. This was another thing I did. This is an old box that had Christmas cards in, which I actually bought in the sale a good few Januaries ago now. And what I did this year, it's empty now, is I put bars of chocolate in it and made myself like a bit of a selection box with dairy-free chocolate bars and my favourite sweets in. I've used this and done this before with some of my children because some of them are on special diets, and it's still going strong, and I've kept this. I thought there was nothing wrong with it. I don't know how many more years it will last because I did sellotape the bars of chocolate in because they were rattling around and I didn't want some of the things to break. So it is getting a little bit inside, but it will definitely do one more Christmas at least. So I'm saving that as well. I try not to save too many things because I don't want my sort of house looking a bit like, you know, a hoarder's. But certain things, I've got a little space in the corner of my room that I do just put my Christmas things in. In my larder though, I do have a space for these. This is an empty box of chocolates. I actually got gifted a tub of sweets this year, and obviously I bought a couple of tubs of chocolate for the family. These are really handy as Tupperware, as everyone knows. You know, you can keep obviously biscuits in there if you open packets of, say, rice or whatever, and you want to keep them a bit more airtight. Things like sewing kits, batteries, all sorts. My dad, back in the day, these things were tins, not plastic, and he had a row of them in the shed with all these different nuts, bolts, screws, all that type of things in. And in fact, I think I still got one somewhere of the old Quality Street or toffee tins with things like that in. But these tubs are really quite handy. So I always keep hold of them for various things. Like if we take the dog off, we don't go off with her very often because she doesn't travel very well, but occasionally if we do, it's quite handy to have a tub in case she's ill. But you can put like your treats in there and some wet wipes and all that type of thing, all contained in a tub. And then yeah, so it's like quite handy to stick in the car, and then I can always then pour water in her for to drink from this as well, that type of thing. So tubs, they're always handy to keep, and if you've got, you know, you may as well make use of it rather buying another tub. I'm reusing things. I make my own Christmas crackers every year, and this year the children, they were very good. I make the paper hats, and sometimes obviously they come off your head, they get ripped, and they're only flimsy, but I've got some that aren't too bad. The children were very good this year. They took them off and put them on the table and said, oh look, Mum, save you making quite so many for next year. There was a couple that didn't make it, they got a bit ripped and stuff, but I have got a couple of my hats for my crackers for next year. I'll probably put those safe in one of these boxes, and then they're there. I made my daughter a selection box. I used a piece of cardboard and I put some paper on it, the shape of a stocking, and then I glued her bars of chocolate. So this is obviously can't be reused, it's wrecked. However, the bow at the top is fine, and I'm just gonna rip it off there. And even though it's a little bit rough on the back, if I can reuse that, I can stick it on a wreath. I could make her another one of these for next year. And as I say, the front looks fine. Or I could glue it on a box. So if I've got one of these boxes and I wanted to jazz it up, I could, because you only see the front, I could use it to glue on there. So I thought, right, I'm going to keep hold of that, little things. So I'll put all that in a little box with a paper hat. So I will reuse the ribbon, and that I'll probably just use to light my wood burner one day. So that's that one. Sadly, we had a big storm a few nights ago. We had a power cut. It was really, really windy, and my outdoor hanging decoration got blown across the garden, and it sort of come apart a bit, but you know, it was nearly due to come down anyway. So I'm going to unclip all the poinsettia flowers. These were just clipped on. So luckily they stayed on the branches. So I'm going to unclip all of these and take them off. And I think this ribbon is fine. We were lucky we didn't have too much rain and because it was under the eaves of the house a little bit, this has stayed okay. Like some in the past has sort of faded a bit, but this looks all right. So I am actually going to undo it from here and save this ribbon. So I'll save the ribbon, I'll save all the little poinsettias. These cones, I will take them off, but I'll probably use these on my wood burner. I don't know if I can salvage these, but some of them might be all right. You see, if I can peel some of this glue off, and if I use them for the same sort of thing next year, I can just put the glue where the glue was this year, stick them back on, and you're not going to notice, because I'm trying not to spend too much money on extra bits and pieces. So I'm going to salvage as much as I can from this, and you reuse it. The same thing goes with my wreath. It's sort of, this is where my hanging decoration was. The wreath also came off in the storm. It was on my front door. The storm, I say, it was pretty violent. It actually took the hook off the door along with the wreath, but some of these have come off. I just put it up here for now. But I'm going to see what I can salvage. I'm definitely going to salvage the ribbon and reuse that. This I've reused several times now. Oh, that's just my heating system coming on behind me. So I've reused this several times, and it will definitely do at least another year, if not 2-3 years. Well, we'll see how it keeps going. But that is just wired on, so I'm going to take that off, reuse it next year. I'm hoping I can very carefully, although these were glued on, I'm going to gently see if I can peel off some of these, because I thought these were really pretty and I want to try and reuse them again. If I can't, I can't, but what I am going to resalvage what I can. So I'm going to have a look and take off as many of the decorations as I can with this wreath and reuse them for next time. This is just another little quick thing I keep. These are the little containers we've had Christmas puddings and steamed puddings in. I'm just going to wash these out. We had these for lunch. And I keep these containers and use them for bird food through the winter. I like to try and help the birds out. So it's sort of a double thing, if you like. Any scraps and leftovers that we have over Christmas, like for example, we sometimes get a bit of bread that's gone past its best because people aren't eating so much bread, or my family's notorious for not putting the lids on things and things go soft. So I think I've got a few soft biscuits and stuff like that, and I make it into sort of like a bird food with a bit of oil, or even just break it into crumbs, and I put things like that into these little pots, and then I put them on the bird table, or I put some holes in them and a bit of string and I hang them in the tree, and they seem to love that. And it's a really good way to use up leftovers, help the birds out, and give these containers another life before they go into the recycling. So that's just a few of the things that I'm repurposing and recycling this year, ready to save me money for Christmas next time. I'm sure I'll find a few more bits and pieces that go along the way, but I just keep looking at everything and think, oh, can I use that again, or is it completely trashed, or can I use it in a different way, just to try and save a bit of money and I don't know, give things a new lease of life. So I like to try and repurpose things if I can. I'm actually repurposing this jumper. This was a gift. My daughter was having a big clear out and was getting rid of a few jumpers last year. And I thought, oh, that'd be great. That'll do for just sort of going around the house or dog walking or whatever. So yeah, it's got a hood and everything. Reduce, reuse, recycle. So yes, I like to try and give things a new lease of life if I can, and also it saves a little bit of money along the way. So thank you for watching. I hope it gave you some inspiration and some ideas. Have a look round now while you're taking your decorations down and see if there's a few things you can keep and repurpose for next time. And until next time, stay frugal.